The morning light slips softly through the window. A calm voice begins to tell a story about movement and time. We meet Anna, 68, sitting by her garden with a cup of tea. Her shoulders feel heavy, a quiet reminder of years spent teaching and tending plants. She lifts her arm to water the flowers, and a small ache answers back. It's not sharp, not painful, just a whisper saying, "Be careful." Anna smiles, but the thought lingers, will she always move this carefully? Her grandson visits and asks her to play catch. She hesitates, then laughs it off, saying her arm is tired. But that night, she wonders when tired became her new normal. She remembers a time when her body felt strong and sure. The next morning, she decides to begin again slowly. No gyms, no heavy weights, just her breath and her patience. She rolls her shoulders back, lifts them with care, and lets them fall. The movement is small, but it feels alive. It's a start, gentle, steady, forgiving. And in that quiet moment, Anna discovers something important. Stability isn't about strength alone. It's about trust in the body, in the moment, in herself. Anna's story begins on a quiet afternoon. The sun rests gently over her backyard garden, painting soft lines across her porch. She sits with her tea, watching the marigolds sway in the breeze. Her favorite watering can waits beside her, green and dented from years of use. She reaches for it, fingers wrapping around the handle, and feels the weight. It used to be nothing, light, effortless, almost part of her hand. But now there's a small resistance, a hesitation in her shoulder. It's not pain, just a reminder that something has changed. She moves slowly, trying to ignore the stiffness that greets her each morning. There was a time when her arms felt strong and graceful. She used to carry bags of soil, lift flower pots, wave to her neighbors with ease. Each motion once flowed like music, familiar and free. But time, with its quiet persistence, has softened that rhythm. Now, her shoulder feels like it's wrapped in layers of forgotten effort. She wonders if she's simply getting old, or if she stopped paying attention. That night she sits by the window, rubbing small circles around her shoulder. She remembers her mother's advice, keep moving, even when it hurts a little. So she does. The next morning, Anna stands in her kitchen with quiet determination. The air smells of coffee and sunlight. She rolls her shoulders forward, then back. A slow circle, gentle, deliberate. The movement feels stiff at first, almost foreign. But with each rotation, her body seems to recognize the pattern. She breathes in through her nose, out through her mouth. Her breath matches the rhythm of the stretch, steady and calm. She doesn't rush. She doesn't push. She just listens to the subtle language of her muscles waking up. There's a small click, then release. A little warmth spreads across her upper back. It's not pain. It's awareness. Anna smiles, surprised by how alive such a small motion can feel. For the first time in a while, she feels connected to her body again. She remembers how she once taught her students to start small, to be patient. Every big thing begins with a single slow step, she used to say. Now those words echo back to her as she moves. She continues the stretch, feeling her spine align and her shoulders soften. Her hands feel lighter, her arms more open. Outside, the wind brushes against the curtains, carrying the scent of lavender. Anna lifts her arms slightly, breathing deeply. She imagines her shoulders as steady anchors, strong but soft. The world feels slower, calmer, more generous. Her movements become smoother, guided by breath rather than effort. She realizes she's not just stretching her shoulders. She's stretching her sense of confidence, her quiet strength. In that simple practice, she finds a kind of peace. Each slow motion becomes a small promise that she is still capable of change. And as the morning unfolds, so does she. Anna begins to wonder what really happens inside her shoulders. She sits on her porch again, her hands resting gently on her knees. The garden hums quietly, bees floating between blossoms. She lifts one arm, slow and mindful, watching how it moves. It feels almost like gears turning in a delicate machine. Each motion depends on another, muscles, tendons, bones all working together. She remembers reading once that the shoulder is the most mobile joint in the body. It can twist, reach, and rotate in ways no other joint can. But mobility, she realizes, isn't the same as stability. Mobility is freedom, the ability to move wherever we wish. Stability is control, the strength to move without fear of falling or pain. Anna thinks of her grandson running across the yard, arms wide open. He never worries about his balance, never questions his body. That kind of ease comes from stability, the quiet power underneath the motion. For older adults like Anna, that balance becomes harder to maintain. Muscles soften, posture shifts, and the body forgets old habits. Each movement becomes a small negotiation between strength and safety. But she's beginning to see that it's not about fighting age. It's about rebuilding connection, teaching her body to trust itself again. She touches her shoulder lightly, feeling the gentle rise of her collarbone. Inside, she imagines small fibers stretching, aligning, supporting one another. It's a beautiful network, she thinks, more intricate than any garden vine. When one part weakens, the others work harder to keep balance. But without stability, even simple tasks become uncertain. Reaching for a glass, buttoning a shirt, hugging someone close. All these quiet movements rely on tiny stabilizing muscles deep beneath the surface. They're not visible in mirrors. They don't make noise or demand attention. Yet they're the reason her arm can lift, her hand can pour, her body can trust itself. She remembers the morning she almost dropped her watering can. Her arm trembled slightly, and fear crept in before she caught it. It wasn't weakness. It was her body's way of saying it needed care. She takes a deep breath, realizing that strength doesn't always come from force. Sometimes it begins with stillness, with noticing, with a slow stretch that wakes sleeping muscles. Anna rolls her shoulders again, this time focusing on the feeling of stability. The movement is smaller, more precise. She senses her muscles learning the pattern, supporting the joint like quiet friends. The ache has softened. Her breath flows smoothly, guiding the motion. She feels steadier, as if the world around her has slowed down to match her pace. The garden seems brighter. Her body feels more like home. She understands now that shoulder stability isn't just about strength. It's about harmony, the way every small part supports the whole. And in that discovery, Anna finds comfort. Her shoulders may have changed with time, but they're still hers, still capable, still strong in their own gentle way. Anna wakes early, long before the sun has fully risen. The house is quiet, wrapped in a calm that feels almost sacred. She stands in the kitchen, barefoot on the cool tiles, listening to her breath. There's no rush, no noise, no one waiting for her. It's just her and the slow rhythm of morning. She lifts her shoulders slightly, then lets them fall. The movement is tiny, almost invisible, but she feels it deeply. Her muscles respond, not with strain but with awareness. She's learning that moving slowly is not about weakness. It's about control, a conversation between body and mind. When she used to move fast, she barely noticed how her shoulders worked. Now, each motion feels like a quiet story unfolding beneath her skin. Her breath matches the rhythm, guiding the stretch like a gentle tide. Inhale, the shoulders rise. Exhale, they soften and return. The slowness creates space, a pause that lets her body catch up with her thoughts. She realizes how easy it is to forget that the body listens. Every rush, every tension, every worry, it all leaves traces. But when she moves slowly, the noise fades. Her body has time to understand what she's asking it to do. The slow pace becomes a form of kindness. Each motion teaches patience. Each breath brings balance. She can feel small muscles waking up, stabilizing her shoulder blades. It's like planting seeds in a quiet garden, tiny efforts that grow with care. The slowness gives her clarity. It helps her notice the way her left shoulder tilts slightly higher than the right. She adjusts gently, smiling at the subtle difference. No correction, no judgment, just awareness. She remembers how, when she was younger, she used to rush through exercise. Push harder, move faster, feel the burn. That was the message then. But now she sees strength in the slower rhythm. It's not about performance anymore. It's about connection. The slower she moves, the deeper she feels. Her breath feels heavier, warmer, alive. Her shoulders glide rather than jerk. Her spine seems to lengthen, as if finding its natural shape again. She closes her eyes and imagines her movements as waves. Gentle, consistent, flowing in and out without effort. She can sense stability forming like roots under the surface. The tension melts away, replaced by a calm steadiness. She realizes that her body has been waiting for this kind of attention. Not the hurried kind, not the demanding kind, but the soft, curious kind that says, "Take your time." When she finishes, her body feels lighter. Her breath is fuller, her shoulders warmer. There's a quiet joy in moving without pressure. She looks out the window, the light just beginning to spill across the sky. The world is waking slowly, just like her. And in that moment, she understands something simple and true. Slow movement doesn't hold her back, it sets her free. The morning light spills softly into the living room. Anna stands near the window, her hands resting on the back of a chair. She closes her eyes for a moment, breathing in the stillness. The air feels gentle, filled with warmth and possibility. She decides it's time to try her slow shoulder stretch again. But today she wants to feel it more deeply, to notice every detail. She starts by grounding her feet, firm and steady on the floor. Her spine lengthens, like a tree growing upward toward the sun. Her shoulders relax, melting away the quiet tension that lingers overnight. She lets her chin drop slightly, aligning her neck with her spine. Then she breathes in, letting her lungs fill slowly, calmly. As she exhales, her shoulders roll back and down, smooth and quiet. She imagines her shoulder blades gliding toward each other. The motion feels like drawing invisible wings behind her back. She pauses, noticing the warmth spreading across her upper arms. There's no pain, only presence. Each breath feels like a whisper of strength returning. She inhales again, lifting her arms out to the sides. Not high, not forced, just enough to feel her chest open. The air moves through her body like light through water. She exhales slowly, lowering her arms, letting gravity do its work. Her fingers tremble slightly, not from weakness but awakening. The movement feels alive, graceful, almost like a dance. She repeats the motion, slower this time, syncing with her breath. The rhythm begins to form: inhale, rise, exhale, release. Her thoughts fade, replaced by the soft sound of air moving in and out. The world narrows to this single moment of motion and stillness. She lifts her arms forward now, reaching gently toward the morning light. Her palms turn upward, open and kind. It feels like a gesture of gratitude to her body, her patience, her persistence. The stretch deepens through her shoulders and chest. She feels the muscles stabilizing, finding their balance again. It's subtle, invisible to anyone watching, but she feels the change inside. Her shoulders no longer feel fragile or uncertain. They feel grounded, supported by something stronger than effort, awareness. She breathes deeply, holding the position for one more second. Then she exhales, letting her arms fall softly by her sides. Her body hums with warmth, her mind clear as glass. She stands still, noticing the quiet after the motion. There's peace in that silence, a kind of gentle satisfaction. The stretch wasn't about reaching higher or doing more. It was about listening to the language of her body, to the wisdom of slowness. Anna smiles, her shoulders light and steady. She feels both strong and soft at once, like the balance she's been searching for. The garden outside sways in rhythm with her calm breath. And as she looks out at the morning, she realizes something beautiful. Her shoulders are not just healing, they're remembering how to trust again. Weeks pass and Anna keeps her quiet routine. Every morning she rolls her shoulders, lifts her arms and breathes with intention. The movements have become part of her rhythm, like brushing her hair or watering the plants. At first it was just a few minutes, cautious and careful. But now it's something she looks forward to, her small ritual of renewal. Each stretch feels different, deeper, more connected than the one before. Her body has begun to remember what freedom feels like. The stiffness that once greeted her each dawn has softened into warmth. One morning her grandson runs into the house, a ball in his hand. He grins and shouts, "Grandma, let's play outside." Anna hesitates for just a breath, then smiles. They walk to the garden, the air filled with laughter and sunlight. He throws the ball not too far, and she catches it smoothly, easily. Her shoulders move with control, steady and sure. For a moment, she's surprised by her own ease. The movement that once frightened her now feels natural again. Her grandson cheers, clapping his small hands with delight. Anna throws the ball back, slow but steady, her motion graceful and confident. The ball arcs through the air, bright against the blue sky. She laughs, a sound full of relief and joy. Her heart feels light, her body strong. After a few throws, they sit together under the old oak tree. Her grandson leans against her shoulder, and she feels no strain. Only warmth, both from the sun and from within. She realizes how far she has come, not through force, but through gentleness. It wasn't about pushing harder. It was about staying present, patient, kind to herself. Each slow stretch was a message to her body, "You can trust me again." The fear she once carried of pain, of weakness has faded. Now she moves without overthinking, without guarding every motion. Her body feels like a friend she's learned to listen to. She looks down at her hands, remembering the early days of uncertainty. The quiet mornings when she doubted this would make any difference. And yet here she is catching, throwing, laughing. Living in motion again. She realizes that improvement didn't arrive in a single moment. It came in whispers, in tiny victories built day by day. A little less ache. A little more confidence. A deeper breath. That's how healing works, she thinks, quietly, faithfully, almost invisibly. As the afternoon light begins to fade, Anna walks back to her house. Her steps are slow, steady, peaceful. Inside, she sets her watering can by the window. She lifts it easily, her shoulders strong and relaxed. The flowers seem to nod at her in quiet approval. She smiles, knowing that this journey was never about perfection. It was about rediscovering trust, in her body and time, in the simple act of moving. And as evening settles, Anna feels more alive than she has in years. A few days later, Anna sits with her doctor for a regular checkup. The small room smells faintly of eucalyptus and calm. Her doctor smiles as she moves her arms in slow circles, testing her range. "Your shoulders are steadier," he says gently. Anna nods, feeling a quiet pride rise within her chest. She tells him about her daily stretches, her morning ritual of breath and motion. He listens, eyes kind, and explains how her consistency has changed everything. He talks about the science behind her new strength, how slow, controlled movement activates deep stabilizing muscles, how breathing helps the nervous system relax, teaching the body to trust movement again. Anna listens, intrigued, imagining her shoulders as a team of small, loyal workers. Each stretch, each pause, giving them time to rebuild harmony. The doctor explains that these gentle stretches improve balance and coordination. They keep joints lubricated, reduce tension, and support posture. Stability, he says, is like a quiet orchestra inside you. Each muscle must play its part for the body to move in tune. Anna smiles at the image, her body as music, her breath as rhythm. She realizes she's been composing her own melody every morning. A slow, steady song of healing and patience. She remembers how it all began, the stiffness, the hesitation, the quiet fear. Now she moves with confidence, not because the ache vanished overnight, but because she learned how to move with awareness, not resistance. Her shoulders no longer feel fragile, they feel alive. Each motion carries the memory of care and attention. She thinks of the garden waiting at home, her flowers swaying in the afternoon light. Each plant thrives because she tends it with small, consistent acts. Her body, she realizes, isn't much different. It blossoms under care, patience, and time. The doctor hands her a printed page with a few simple exercises. She looks at it, recognizing the same movements she's already been doing. She laughs softly, saying, "I guess I've been on the right path." He nods. "You found your own medicine," he replies. On her walk home, the air feels cool and kind. Every step carries a rhythm, calm and even. She notices how easily her arms swing, how light her body feels. The movement flows, natural and unforced. She's not thinking about posture or precision anymore. It's instinct now, a graceful balance between mind and body. At home, she places the doctor's note on her kitchen table. Then she turns toward the window, lifting her arms with quiet confidence. The motion feels simple but sacred, like greeting herself anew. Her shoulders open, her breath deepens, and her heart settles into peace. She smiles, realizing that her strength isn't measured in speed or power. It's measured in the grace of moving slowly and steadily, day after day. The science makes sense, but the feeling means more. She has become her own proof, gentle, strong, and beautifully stable. Outside, the last light of the day glows softly across her garden. And Anna, with her steady shoulders, stands tall beneath it, quietly shining. The evening settles, quiet and golden. Anna sits by her window, watching the sky fade into soft blue. Her shoulders feel warm, steady, alive beneath her calm breath. She rolls them gently, the motion easy, natural, effortless. Each slow stretch reminds her how far she has come. Not just in strength, but in patience, in trust, in peace. Her body no longer feels like something to fix, but something to care for. Every gentle movement is a conversation with herself. She listens, she responds, she grows. The garden outside moves with her, leaves swaying, petals trembling in rhythm. She smiles, feeling the same quiet stability blooming inside. This journey was never about chasing youth or perfection. It was about remembering that healing can be soft, that progress can happen one mindful breath at a time. She closes her eyes, her heart calm and full. Tomorrow she will stretch again, slow, simple, steady. And with every movement, she will celebrate not just motion, but meaning. The light fades completely now, leaving the room peaceful and still. Anna whispers to herself, "Strong, steady, and slow, that's enough." And in the quiet, her shoulders rest balanced, free, and beautifully alive.